everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about obedience. I'm Rita and today it's all about you. Obedience is the base of respect, love, kindness, and teach to have a better judgment and not to be blind obedient. You as a parent teach always the reason for a kind of behavior that you want your child to have. This teach to your child that what you are asking is not just an arbitrary demand. Teach to your child that obedience is not a choice. And also the meaning of the word no, which for many toddlers is the first word they are saying and they are really understanding. Explain to your child which behavior it is expected and correct the child every time that she disobeys. The most simple explanation about obedience is through games. Children usually learn much better, much faster if it's a play involved. So play games with your child, explain the rules of the games and make them understand that if they follow the rules they have a better chance to win. It also can involve sports and make a connection with the daily life, because if you follow rules you have a better chance to get something much more positive from it. Be a role model for your child. Be natural with the daily rules, like using the seatbelt when you and your child is in the car, walk in the sidewalk, and in some cultures, for instance, just take the shoes off when entered in somebody's home or in their own home. This teaches children to obey by example. Be consistent in any of your acts when you are trying to teach something to your child. Consistency and persistence is the main thing of any kind of base of education. But why is it important to train your child in obedience? Because this way you will help him cope with authority and at the same time teach respect and being respectful, which for the future it will be extremely important. Understand that your child doesn't have the same priorities as you have, and you have to work with them in a positive way. Train your child since little to pay attention to you when you are talking. Make him look at you when you are talking. This is important not just for all the things that we say here, but also for concentration. Talk to your child looking in their eyes and try to bench over them in order for you to be at the same size as your children. Do not repeat constantly the rules that you want your kids to follow, but be consistent about the consequences of breaking them. When nothing works and you really think that your kid is having some issues in the obey level, talk with him about the consequences of his behavior. Give him more often choices. That really doesn't involve the obedience. Respect his own individuality. Have much more realistic expectations about your child. Avoid the word no just because you wanted to use it, because no, it's a very defiant word, particularly for small kids. Acknowledge communication and talk much more often with your child, and try to prize good behavior. Here we are talking about obedience and turning your child in a much more obedient child, but it is important to understand that this doesn't have to be strict and really tough and be a blind rule for your kids. Kids also need to learn to be independent and not be blind obedient to any adult in any kind of situation. And this is also for their own protection. A kid must be obedient to rules and understand the value of rules, but he has to be trained to evaluate the situation and when the obedience is not really healthy. Of course, this will come with age, and this is difficult to transmit to a toddler, but it is possible to make a small child understand that it is important to behave in a certain way, but it's not okay to behave in other ways with other kind of people that can constitute a danger for the child health and for the child integrity. So parents have to find a balance between both of these issues. They are very important, but they are also possible to teach to a child. The better way to teach these kind of things are to take your kids' problems seriously, respect their own opinions, don't impose only your things, be a little bit more flexible, admit that you can't control certain situations, respect your kids' preferences, and listen to your kids' objections. Parenting doesn't have a model for all of us to follow. It is actually a daily learning experience, even if you have more than 1, 2, or 3 kids. Try to approach most of the situations with positiveness and cooperative processes that will help you to have a strong family dynamic and strong connections and relationships. And so that's all for today, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe to the channel, leave a thumbs up, share with a friend, comment if you want, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!